The Champions League round of 16 draw has been made, and all I can say is wow. So today we are going through the Champions League round of 16 draw in full. I'm going to be giving you my predictions and telling you why I think one team is going to beat the other, why I think they're going to progress, and who I think they're going to face in the next round, which is the quarterfinal of the Champions League. So before we get the ball rolling, make sure to subscribe to join MB United and comment as I go along your thoughts on each individual fixture and my predictions for the quarterfinal. So without further ado, let's start PSG versus Liverpool. Now this game is an absolute cracker, and the reason why I say it's an absolute cracker is because Liverpool, of course, finishing first in the Champions League format and at the top of the Premier League table in the Carabao Cup final and still going strong in the FA Cup. Again, the quadruple is on the cards for Liverpool. I don't necessarily think they're going to do it because, again, no English team has ever done a quadruple before, but this team clearly are a side that knows how to win consistently and put up performances. Not to mention the best player in the world right now, Mohamed Salah, having a crazy season. Are we going to see his magic again in Paris and then back in Anfield, bro? Or will Paris Saint-Germain prove to be a task that Liverpool simply cannot complete? Luis Enrique's side has been absolutely phenomenal this season. Ousmane Dembele is another star in PSG who looks to really be taking it on his own this season and actually entering new heights. He's tapping into that talent we saw all those years ago when he was coming up through Stade Rennais and also playing for Borussia Dortmund in the Bundesliga. Moving to Barcelona, it didn't quite work out for him, and even in the early starts of his PSG career, it didn't seem that we were going to see anything different. But Luis Enrique is definitely unlocking him, and also unlocking players such as Bradley Barcola, Desiree Doué, and also João Neves, Vitinha. This midfield is stacked, and that's something we don't usually say about PSG. Now, after blitzing past Brest earlier in the playoff round, I think this PSG team have a lot more to offer, and I think, now I'm not going to go ahead and say I think PSG are going to make it all the way to Munich and play in the Champions League final, but Luis Enrique has this midfield working like they've never worked before, defensively, on the ball, and going forward. They're elite. Now, I personally think Paris Saint-Germain are going to go through and beat Liverpool and make it to the quarterfinals. I think it will be a very good win for them at Paris Saint-Germain. And then when they go back to Anfield, I feel like they might hold out for a draw, maybe a loss, but I don't think on aggregate it'll be enough to see Liverpool get through ahead of them. It's a bold claim, but hey, I personally think Dembele on the right, Barcola on the left, might be too much for Robertson and Trent, or Robertson and Tsimikas, Robertson and whoever. I think that those Liverpool fullbacks might have their work out for them on these fixtures. Now, moving on to another English team, Club Brugge versus Aston Villa. Now, me personally, I've loved both of these teams' journeys in the Champions League this season. I always wondered what Aston Villa would do in the Champions League when they finished 4th last season, confirming their spot in the Champions League season this year. And they haven't disappointed at all. Now, I guess the same can be said about Club Brugge. Club Brugge are a team that, yes, they might not be the most well-known team in Belgium because, of course, you have Anderlecht and their prestigious academy. However, Club Brugge this season have put on some great displays and have been actually the testament to this new format of the Champions League. Great attacking play, teams that, you know, you're not necessarily calling European giants, coming up and beating teams when it matters, week in, week out. Now, for that reason, I feel like they definitely will put up a fight against Aston Villa, but ultimately, I think Aston Villa are going to be too much for Club Brugge to handle. Now, I feel like at home in Villa Park, Aston Villa are going to show their quality. I think Ollie Watkins again is going to get on the score sheet, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Marcus Rashford also turns up in the Champions League for Aston Villa. Mind you, he's been away from the Champions League for, I think, just about a year, maybe 2. I think he's ready. He's looking warm. Asensio's looking warm. And Unai Emery in Europe, he knows how to get the job done. Now, moving on swiftly to the other side, we have Feyenoord against Inter Milan. And Feyenoord are an interesting team. The reason why I say Feyenoord are an interesting team is because they are definitely a team that are known for having promising young talents. You know, we're talking about even the talents they have now currently, such as, you know, Jurrien Timber's brother, Quinton Timber, Santiago Jimenez, who's obviously gone to AC Milan. It's pretty funny because he left to join AC Milan and then the two met in the playoff round and then Feyenoord knocked out AC Milan. If he had stayed, he would have been in the round of 16, but that's another story. But yes, they've got a lot of promising talents, but ultimately, I think the writing's on the wall for them. I feel like the round of 16 is the furthest they'll reach because this Inter Milan side, Inzaghi has done an absolute number on this team. And I feel like Marcus Thuram, Lautaro Martinez, DeMarco, who I think personally is one of the best left backs in world football, will just be too much for them to handle. I think Inter Milan will go through comfortably, and this sees them meet none other than Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals. And the reason I say this is because Bayern Munich are playing Leverkusen in the round of 16 of the Champions League. And they're the team that are, that is the path that is destined for Inter Milan should they be victorious against Feyenoord. Now, this fixture is a bit of a weird one because Leverkusen have been great over the last 2 years. Of course, no one can forget their magnificent run last year, going unbeaten in the Bundesliga and almost doing it in the Europa League as well. Now, earlier on this season, the two met and it ended up 0-0. And with this fixture, I think it's one of those where, yes, a lot of people are expecting Bayern to beat and breeze past Bayern Leverkusen. However, the talent that Leverkusen still have on their books, we're talking the likes of Florian Wirtz, Grimaldo, Xhaka, Edmund Tapsoba, a lot of players of actual real quality that might make it that much more difficult for Bayern Munich. I mean, with that being said, I think this is definitely going to be a tricky draw, both legs, in Munich and in Leverkusen. But I think the quality that Bayern Munich have, in Harry Kane, Musiala, Sane, who looks reinvigorated, I feel like that attacking line itself is frightening. I didn't even mention Kingsley Coman or Alphonso Davies coming on, bombing on the left-hand side. It is very, very scary to come up against. And for that reason, I think Bayern Munich will edge past Leverkusen. I think they might lose the first fixture. I think they might lose the reverse fixture. So when they visit Leverkusen, I think in the second leg, I believe they will lose that one. But at the Allianz Stadium, I think they are going to beat Bayern Leverkusen quite comfortably. I feel like they're going to turn up. Harry Kane, especially, I feel like he's going to get on the score sheet for sure. And he's leaving with something. I think he might even get a hat-trick in this. Not to say that Bayern Munich are going to steamroll Leverkusen, because I don't think that'll be the case. But I think I can see a 3-1 victory for Bayern Munich in the home fixture and then losing 2-1 in the reverse fixture and seeing them go through. From one derby to another, we head over to the other side of the round of 16 draw to see the Madrid derby. Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid in the round of 16. Now, this fixture alone has already caused so many iconic moments in the Champions League, from when Ronaldo was either at Madrid or even at Juventus. The hatred for CR7 that Atletico Madrid fans possess is something I've never seen before. And time and time and time again. Even when we look at the Champions League final a couple years back, more than a couple years back, it has really been that long. We're around in almost 12 years back when Real Madrid faced Atletico Madrid in the Champions League final. Real Madrid won 4-1, and that definitely left a bitter taste in the Atletico Madrid fans and Diego Simeone's mouth. So I feel like it's going to be interesting. Again, Real Madrid, they have had injuries, but Kylian Mbappe has woken up. His adjustment period is over. He bagged a hat-trick against Manchester City in the playoff round, and he is warm. He's ready to go. It could be scary. Again, Julian Alvarez is looking very, very good for Atletico Madrid. Griezmann is going to do what Griezmann does. And again, just the hatred, the added fuel of the derby itself, that's going to be a very good game, man. I want to go to that game, man. Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, I want to go to that game, man. Can we sort something out, please, por favor? I think he might even take that spot of Cristiano Ronaldo. And when I say the spot, I mean the hatred in the Atletico Madrid fans' hearts, because every single time they doubted him, he turned up. And I feel like Kylian Mbappe could potentially start that in the Champions League this season. I don't know. Because this is a prediction, I am saying that Real Madrid are going to qualify against Atletico Madrid. Again, it will be a tough fixture, but I see Real Madrid going through. And this sees them face Arsenal, because Arsenal and PSV are the options for the next round for Atletico and Real Madrid. I hope that makes sense. But if it doesn't make sense, here's a graphic that I can use to explain the winner of PSV versus Arsenal faces the winner of Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid. I probably should have explained that a little bit better. But yes, another round of 16 fixture, PSV versus Arsenal. And I think this is going to be a more difficult fixture than a lot of people imagine it to be. Now, the reason I say this is not because I think, Noah Lang and Johan Bakayoko are going to go absolutely crazy and then Tillman's going to be there to tap in the 5th goal or the 6th goal. No, nothing like that. I feel like the reason it's going to be a bit more difficult than a lot of people imagine is because this is Arsenal playing in the Champions League with an injury hit squad. Now, yes, Arsenal have played PSV before in the Europa League over 2 games. They won 1 and they drew 1. But this is with an Arsenal team that aren't as injury hit as they are right now. Like I said in one of these shorts and TikToks that I posted, Gabriel Martinelli, injured. Saka, injured. Gabriel Jesus, injured. Kai Havertz, injured. The list goes on and on. So without an actual fully functional forward line that has worked together and knows each other, I feel like the likes of PSV could potentially cause problems for Arsenal. Now, if this being said, I do imagine it to be quite tricky when Arsenal go to Eindhoven to face PSV, and I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up in a draw again, or even a loss. Now, mind you, I would absolutely hate that. I want Arsenal to win this fixture. I want Arsenal to win the Champions League. I want Arsenal to win the Premier League. But we're realistic on this channel, you know? We provide reasoning, arguments, facts, and ultimately common sense. So that being said, I think Arsenal will have a tricky time getting past PSV, but I feel like they'll do it. And this is why I feel like the next fixture in the quarterfinal for Arsenal will be against the mighty Real Madrid. That sigh is the sigh of realization that we might be in for a shock if the injuries don't let up. Now remember guys, as much as I'm making my own predictions, I want to hear from you guys. So make sure you comment down below with every fixture, or I guess the ones that stood out to you the most, and let me know, am I right, am I wrong, and of course, your predictions too. Now moving on to two teams that have definitely been enjoying themselves in the Champions League this season, SL Benfica and of course, Barcelona. Now this fixture is a bit interesting. Of course, it's already interesting because these are two historical European giants going head to head in the round of 16. And again, for the football lovers, this is a great fixture. But it's also interesting for another reason. Now, of course, we're going to see the youthful Barcelona come up in the Champions League. And this is the time for, you know, Rafinha to really make his mark. The young, promising starlet, Lamine Yamal, 17 years of age. He's gonna be expected to turn up in this game. But then also on the other side, we have a reinvigorated Pavlidis up front for Benfica, who has been scoring non-stop in the Champions League this season. Now, of course, we have the decorated veteran Angel Di Maria playing for Benfica. And this is someone who the Barcelona fans know very, very well because he made an absolute mockery of Puyol in El Clasico. And I don't think, I personally haven't recovered from that. That is still one of the craziest ankle breaks I've ever seen in life. It'll be interesting. Hansi Flick's side are, you know, a team that play a high line and great attacking play, but I don't know. Benfica are definitely a team that I think can take advantage of this, but I don't know if they can do it over both legs. And for that reason, I think that Barcelona are going to beat SL Benfica. I think it's going to be a bit too much for them to handle at the new Camp Nou, Spotify camp, whatever they want to call it this season. I feel like that's where Barcelona are going to get the upper hand. But when they go to Lisbon for that fixture, I wouldn't be surprised if they drop points there. Well, not necessarily points because they're not in the league phase anymore, but you know what I mean, like draw or lose. And then lastly, two teams that I think are quite evenly matched. Borussia Dortmund and Lille. Now, Dortmund in the Bundesliga this season have not been enjoying their time. They've been kind of shaky. Lille, on the other hand, they're doing quite well, sitting in third place, of course, at the time of recording, and they seem to be enjoying life in the Champions League too. Erdon Zagrova, Jonathan David, Chuba Akpom, Angel Gomez. These are players who I guess you could refer to as the top players for Lille this season, and I feel like they're going to make it through to the next round. Borussia Dortmund have been a bit uninspired this season. Of course, they still have Julian Brandt. They have the magnificent Jamie Bino Gittins and Karim Adeyemi up front as well. But I'm not too convinced by them this season. Yes, Serhou Guirassy is scoring goals when it matters, but I don't know. I really, really don't know about Borussia Dortmund. I think Lille are going to advance, but I wouldn't be surprised if Dortmund do it. But again, Dortmund are a jammy team that this season, they're just not convincing me. I don't know what it is. But it's not about me. It's about you. What do you guys make of my predictions in the Champions League round of 16 this year? Am I right with majority, or have I completely missed the mark with all of them? Which wouldn't surprise me. I'm quite tired right now. Yes, let me know all of it, guys. Do you think Real Madrid are going to meet Arsenal in the quarterfinals, or will they be meeting PSV? Do you think that Liverpool will actually get beaten by PSG, or will Arne Slot keep Liverpool's hopes of a quadruple alive? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, subscribe to Join MB United, where this is your home of football. We talk about everything football related. There are shorts as well, so when I don't post long format, there's always going to be something to keep you guys entertained, as well as on my TikTok and on my Instagram as well. Give it a thumbs up if you like this video, and there's going to be a video popping up on screen as well. I think you're going to enjoy this just as much, if not more than you enjoy this one. So watch it and let me know. But until then, keep it real, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace.